Hey guys, it's Fellow here to teach you about Havoc Demon Hunter. So Havoc Demon Hunter is a pretty fast-paced builder-spender spec where we build Fury and spend it on various abilities. So we build Fury in primarily using the ability Demon's Bite. Demon's Bite is instant melee attack, just generates a little bit of Fury. We spend it on things like Blade Dance, Chaos Strike, and I-Beam. Additionally, we have plenty of utility abilities. We have one of the strongest defensives in the game in Blur. We have Interrupt and Disrupt. We have an AoE stun in Chaos Nova. We have strong mobility with 2 charges of Fel Rush. We have an offensive Dispel. We have the ability to glide. We have an AoE raid defensive CD called Darkness, which gives you a chance to avoid taking any damage, 20% chance. So it's not super strong on its own, but when combined with things like Spirit Link Totem, it effectively is a 20% reduction in damage to the raid. Baseline, we get a mobility spell called Vengeful Retreat, which allows you to backflip out, and combined with Fel Rush, you can get back in and avoid mechanics that are in melee range very easily. Our main CD is Metamorphosis. It's a base 4-minute cooldown. It leaps you into the air, makes you immune for a second, and makes you into demon form constantly. We have utility in Spectral Sight, which allows you to see invisible units or just any interactable units. So over there you can see there's a critter, and these things are outlined in red because they are also interactable. Throw Glaive is our AoE ability, a 7.5 second recharge, and Torment is our taunt. So, getting into the talent trees. In Tier 1 talents, we have our Fury generating talents. They're all useful in various builds. Like I said, I run the Demonic Appetite build. Blind Fury build would be just like this, and the Fellblade build would you couple with Demon Blade with Master the Glaive. So, Blind Fury generates 40 Fury every second and during your I-Beam. So if you I-Beam, you will get a full bar of Fury to spend after you finish. Demonic Appetite, whenever you use Chaos Strike, it has a chance to generate a little soul fragment. I'll try and show that now. Let's see if we can get one fished up here. Still nothing. There we go. So that's what one looks like. I have a blue thing on it to make it stand out a little bit. They normally appear purple. And then Fellblade is a single target ability. It allows you to jump to that target, and it gives you 40 Fury. It doesn't vary like Demon's Bite does. In Tier 2, we have Insatiable Hunger, which increases the Fury generation of Demon's Bite by 10. We have Demon Blades, which removes Demon's Bite and makes your auto attacks have a chance to basically function as a Demon's Bite, where you will generate Fury and deal some damage. Immolation Aura is an additional ability that will generate Fury over time, and it creates a little aura of fire around you, which will damage things around you. In Tier 3, we have Trail of Ruin, Fel Mastery, and Fel Barrage. Trail of Ruin increases the damage of Blade Dance by having a dot when you finish it. Fel Mastery increases your Fel Rush damage by 100%, and Fel Barrage is a channeled 1-minute AoE cooldown. Trail of Ruin is taken with pretty much everything because of this talent, which I'll get to later. Fel Mastery would probably synchronize well with Momentum. It's just not a build that gets run too often. And then Fel Barrage gets used in some cases for high-end Mythic pluses where you need a lot of AoE, and it's coupled with other buffs to make it really strong. In Tier 4 here we have some defensive abilities. We have Soul Rending, which is a passive which increases your leech and doubly increases your leech during Metamorphosis. It allows you to heal back a lot. Desperate Instincts increases the effectiveness of your already strong Blur and automatically casts it if you're below 35% health. And Netherwalk, which allows you to immune certain abilities and walk out of it. It only lasts 5 seconds, but immuning abilities is pretty strong. It allows you to cheese some mechanics. In this row, none of these really get used except for First Blood, and First Blood reduces the Fury cost of Blade Dance and increases the damage against its first target struck. So basically whatever your target is will be the first target struck, and that's what makes this turn your Blade Dance from an AoE ability to basically a single target ability. Like I said, coupled with Trail of Ruin, makes Blade Dance very strong. In this tier, we have some CC abilities. Unleash Power decreases your AoE stun cooldown and makes it free. Fell Eruption is a single target stun to be used in addition, like you have 2 stuns then with your AoE stun and your single target stun. And Master the Glaive gives you 2 charges of your Throw Glaive and adds a slow to that ability. Because it has 2 charges, Master Glaive is good for using in Fellblade Demon Blade because it fills in the gaps in the rotation. Finally, we have the final tier, which has Demonic Momentum and Nemesis. Nemesis is a buff you or debuff you put on a target that increases the damage they take by 20. Increases the damage you do to them by 20%. If you kill that target, increases damage you do by 20% to all things around for the remaining duration of that same type. It's not really used too much, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Momentum used to be a strong build. It's fallen off in Legion, or fallen off in BFA rather. But it uses your movement abilities as a buff and fury generation. So it limits the ability to use your movement abilities for movement. You have to use them for damage. And finally, Demonic. After you I-beam, you enter demon form, just like you'd Metamorphosist. So, we'll get into some of the full builds here. So, Demonic Appetite. This is a Demonic Appetite build. You're able to run it because of Eyes of Rage, which causes your when you consume full soul fragments that are spawned from those chaos strikes, it reduces the cooldown of your I-beam by 0.7 seconds. So with this build and Eyes of Rage, it allows you to get quicker I-beams, which allows you to stay in Metamorphosis for more of the fight. If you don't have Eyes of Rage, you either want to be running Blind Fury or a Fellblade Demon Blade build. So Blind Fury, this is all you have to change, and the thing to keep in mind with Blind Fury is, well, we'll go over that in rotations. Finally, Fellblade Demon Blade. This is the Fellblade Demon Blade build. Again, you go into Fellblade to stick to your target, and you have a chance to generate Fury on your auto attacks, and then you spend it just as you would otherwise. So next we're going to talk about the essences. These are single target essences. You're running Condensed Life Force Major with Strife Minor. If you're running Fellblade Demon Blade build, you want Memory of Lucid Dreams. If you're running Blind Fury or Demonic Appetite, you will want Crucible of Flame. And then Breath of the Dying as your final. If you're running an AoE build, you're going to want to put Iris as your major, and you'll want to use Blood of the Enemy, Purification Protocol, and the Formless Void. That's for full AoE. There's use cases for others, but those are the two I'll let you worry about, with the potential change out between Memory of Lucid Dreams and Crucible Flame for Fellblade, Demon Blade versus Blind Fury or Demonic Appetite. Alright, so for traits, we have one really, really strong trait, and that would be Furious Gaze. Furious Gaze increases our haste massively when finishing I-beam, so it allows you to fit in a lot of GCDs in the period following your I-beam, which is basically when you're in your demon form. Super strong. It synergizes very well with your kit. I've talked about Eyes of Rage before. You need that for a Demonic Appetite build. The only other one you really want to have is Chaotic Transformation. It does a reset of your I-Beam and Blade Dance whenever you use Metamorphosis. So it doesn't seem like it's that strong from just looking at it, but it allows you to be a lot burstier during Metamorphosis and gives you a longer haste buff because of the Furious Gaze when you get that second I-Beam in. Your final trait spot, that sixth one, can be filled out with a number of things. I'm filling it out with Revolving Blades, but you can get Thirsting Blade. You can get, let's see, another strong one. Unbound Chaos could be used to spawn a demon. You can get Heart of Darkness. Yeah, just be sure to sim and see what that sixth trait comes out being. Next I'll go over corruptions for single target. Your corruptions you're going to want to run are Infinite Stars is really strong. And you're going to want to run Lash of the Void, also very strong. Ineffable Truth, very strong. For AoE, Twilight Devastation, very strong. Lash of the Void, also very strong. Again, the answer is going to be Sim it, but those are some of the ones to look out for. Next I'll go over rotation. So right now I am currently in the Fellblade Demon Blade build, so I will go over that with you. Again, this is what the setup looks like. So you lead off with a jump in with your Fellblade, and you will try and get near the top before you I-Beam, and then you want to use your Chaos or Blade Dance immediately. Chaos Strike to fill, Blade Dance for the second time before you exit. If you're running the Blind Fury build, you have to go in with a Demon's Bite. You'll start combat with Immolation before, Demon's Bite when you start in, but with Blind Fury you want to be as close to 30 as possible before you I-Beam, so as to minimize the amount of Fury you waste at the beginning there. Again, 2 Blade Dances during your window. I'm at haste levels where you might be able to fit 3. Depending on procs, you might get there too. Finally, the Demonic Appetite build, where again you want to be built up near the top when you I-Beam, Blade Dance, spend on Chaos Strikes, trying to get more Fury from your little souls there you pick up. If you're looking for an opener for use of meta, you will want to Immolation Aura, try and have 20 before you enter in the combat. Fell Rush in, Demon's Bite for some rage, and then you will want to I-Beam, Blade Dance, meta, Blade Dance, I-Beam, and then spend as normal. Keep Immolation Aura on cooldown. That's pretty much all there is to it. Just keep building and spending, keeping your little mini cooldown abilities on cooldown. So, that's Demon Hunter in a nutshell. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be happy to answer them. So, thanks for watching. Bye.